Art, I don't want to alarm you, but somebody touch my spaghetti! Art, I don't want to alarm you, but somebody touch my spaghetti!
Sean, you can't do that. Freaking idiot.
Noob.
Goodness gracious. Welcome to tonight's full Plumes of Hazard. I'm Mass9, and these are the co-hosts. Understudy 77.
What up?
Fubaka, and the Ankful Vapor. Sliding Shuffle Arts, everybody. Welcome, everybody. And to people not in the southeast, y'all fucked up, man. Fucking tornadoes and
it was full lockdown this afternoon. Full lockdown.
And then down here, all it is just high pressure compressing the fuck out of the air, and we have like 100-degree temperatures. Just fuck you.
Oh, it's been so humid the last couple days.
Yeah, we just got like downpoured on like hard. I took a very short video. I was driving down an empty ass fucking main road because it's downpoured. I'm just like, damn.
I literally felt sorry. A few friends up there in Kansas, they had their kids in the freaking basement with their hockey helmets on, you know, and you know, bean bags all around them because every half hour there's another tornado. I get it, tornado alley, but so remember we were talking about the tornado up there in close to New York. Yeah, it actually touched down and made a freaking mess.
You know where it made most of its mess though?
Oh, here we go.
New Jersey.
Jersey.
Careful, aces in chat.
So actually, you know, I feel like I have to give a geography lesson.
Are you saying that it actually cleaned up?
No. So geographically, right? New Jersey's a swamp in a low-lying area. So, like North Jersey, like when you have an inclement weather.
Wait, you don't mean that in like a pejorative sense? It's literally
it's literally a swamp in a low-lying area. And so, into North Jersey, you have mountains and shit. So, whenever you have like heavy rainstorms, it floods very, very easy. And like oftentimes, it's like, okay, we get torrential downpours here, and then next thing you know, you turn on the news, like New Jersey declares state of emergencies because they. Geographically speaking, they're at a very large disadvantage. That's a very polite way of saying New Jersey sucks.
That's about right.
But yeah, don't at me. Chris Christie, if he was still governor, he'd absorb the brunt of the storm.
Yeah,
but he is not, so deal with it.
If Chris Christie is good at anything, one would think absorbing things would probably be one of his.
No. The one thing he's good at is getting politically friend zoned. That's it.
Well, the one thing his pants are good at is absorbing his fupa.
His pants are still alive.
Yeah, barely. They're barely hanging on.
So I actually didn't realize that he wasn't the governor anymore.
No, it's been a while. No, he took Hurricane Sandy. He's like, I'm gonna win president off of my efforts and eating all the rations.
Yeah, I mean, as we speak right now, there's actually 2 tornado warnings going on. Like ridiculous. That whole storm blasting through.
So we got hail, we got rain, and then on the news they were playing, like the storm chaser guys. You got their reporter in the field. Those guys were cruising down the roads right near my house, like on TV. I'm like, oh, that's like right down the road, and they're like, hey, look, it's over there. I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah.
No, it was gross, but it wasn't that bad over here. It's mostly just a.
Was that today?
Spring.
Was that today?
Yeah, this afternoon.
Yeah, that's that big line of storms coming through.
Mm-hmm.
I just, something I hadn't even thought about this, but so I have friends in Kansas. close to the Oklahoma border, and they all have basements.
Mm-hmm.
But as I was watching some things last night, and again, okay, you got to remember, I've lived in flatlands all my life. Flatlands where you dig out to put a fence pole, 2.5 feet, 3 feet, and you hit water. Okay,
right.
So no basements down here, unless the houses were built up in an area during the Cuban Missile Crisis, all that stuff. So no basement. But someone was saying that a lot of the deaths recently have been happening because the house collapses on the people in the basement. And if the tornado, they're saying that, like, if the tornado isn't strong enough to just suck the house away,
right?
It just knocks it on top of you. So not only that, but I didn't think about, and apparently in some parts of Oklahoma, there ain't no basement digging.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's like in Texas. I mean, I've been to places where, they're blasting a hole out of the mountain for you to be able to put your garage.
Yeah.
So there's definitely not going to be no basement there. So
the earth around here is there's a lot of rock. So like when they build a large building or a school or whatever nearby, they're often, they're pulling out just giant boulders out of the ground. So there's not a lot of digging around here unless you're really ready to go.
Yeah.
And not to mention, while we get cold here, we don't get the sustained cold that necessitates a basement for your water and stuff.
Yeah.
We just have thick ass foundations. Cable reinforced, whatever.
How many C's are we talking? How thick?
Huh?
How many C's? How thick?
How many C's?
Yeah, 2 C's, 3 C's.
All the C's.
All the C's. Okay.
All the C's.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, we haven't even thought about that. You think, all right, they got basement, they're all right. Not necessarily.
So it's funny that brings up. So there's a YouTube channel that I have historically go back and binge it every now and then when I remember that it exists. It's an Australian guy who talks about swords all the time. It's Shadiversary. But he not only does he talk about swords and medieval technology, but also castles and like deconstructing them and like talking about the different features and what they're used for and demystifying and taking the fantasy out of a lot of movies and stuff and like saying practically this is what they really would do as opposed to what they tell you in books and movies and stuff.
Right.
We talk about Dragonheart with one Richard Gere.
Dude, I am the last one.
God. Yeah, why couldn't he just fall in love with a hooker in the Middle Ages then, like kind of a repeat of another movie he did.
Dude, all I can think about is Sean Connery with his face mapped to a dragon. It's so good.
I love that movie, dude. That was one of the best movies ever.
I haven't seen it in a million years, but does it still stand up?
Yeah, it actually kind of does. It's still really good. I think I haven't seen it in probably a couple of years, but it's still really good. I adored everything about that movie back in the day.
Hey, Tomas knows Shadiversary. Good. So one of the things you was talking about recently, Massey, you just kind of hit on. So when you're doing a siege of a castle, and even if you're not just trying to wait them out, right? You're actually trying to take the castle, by force. So some of the castle designs are designed such that when you destroy the wall, right, when you're trying to get in using whatever siege weapons you're using, that's only the first part, because after that the wall, the stone doesn't just disappear, right? It comes down, and now you've got a mountain of rocky ass stone that you got to get over. So like it's still another thing to have to get through.
Soldiers don't have hiking boots.
Yeah.
It's a great channel. It's really funny.
I reconnected with an old channel last night, actually.
Yeah.
Death Battle.
Death Battle.
Yeah, have you ever seen Death Battle?
No.
So Death Battle pits like
you either fight or you die,
and video game characters and stuff against them in a death battle. So like last night I was watching Ben 10 versus Green Lantern, Spider-Man 2099 versus Batman Beyond.
Oh, come on. I mean, Ben 10 versus Green Lantern just smoked Ben 10.
So Green Lantern won, but one of the most interesting things about Death Battle is reading through the comments.
I'm sure.
Everybody was upset about the Ben 10 one. Because everybody thought Ben 10 should win. I'm actually in agreement with the general way that it went. But everybody's like, no, Ben 10 would fucking win. Everybody's all pissed off about it. The Batman Beyond Spider-Man 2099 one was good. There's a lot of really good ones. There was a Spider-Man vs. Batman one that was really good. And they like fully animate. So they spend like the first 15 minutes of the video laying out the feats and then putting like science to it. Like this feat, we're assuming that it was this heavy, which equals this much force.
Yeah.
And then they spend like 5 minutes of like fully animated fight.
Right. So Shad's a lot like that. Like he'll say, okay, take this comic book hero that's got super strength.
Yep.
What kind of weapon would he actually use? He wouldn't, for example, use these weapons, and for this reason, right? If you got super strength, that doesn't necessarily mean you got super weight.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have super weight, then when you go to punch something, you can put all the force you want, but what it's going to do is push backwards, and you know, it goes. He doesn't break down to like super nitty gritty math, but he does some good approximation.
They get approximate math, because the other one was the one that I watched today was Voltron versus Power Rangers. The Megazord versus Voltron. That one was
that's a good 1-to-1 kind of
right
setup. Yeah, I can see that.
Voltron won, but it was totally worth it.
Voltron has to win because the Power Rangers aren't really they're terrible. I mean,
you know what? Okay, you know what I'll tell you? Both cartoons didn't age well. Don't at me.
What didn't age well?
Voltron and Power Rangers.
Disagree. Netflix show Voltron Defenders of the Universe, fantastic show. Aged wonderfully if you watch the new version.
No, I'm talking about like the original one that came on.
The original. None of those like 80s, early 90s shows age all that well.
Easy. We're encroaching on my Robotech, my precious Robotech. Right now.
No, dude! I grew up on Power Rangers. I have no shame being like, "Wow, that shit's terrible looking."
Spider-Man the animated series.
My brothers are the same way about like He-Man and shit. Like Smurfs. Smurfs is timeless. But, like the action cartoons and shit. G.I. Joe sucks too.
Smurfs is timeless.
Fucking yeah. It is.
So you know what aged horribly but still mildly enjoyable?
What's that?
Fucking Beast Wars.
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah, I mean that was ahead of its time. They're like that 3D.
Well, it was one of the first ever shows to be done in full CG. So like,
right?
Looked,
that makes sense. I didn't think about that. Sure.
CG. It looks like shit today,
right?
But like it's.
But I remember being impressed by it then. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Well, that's like going back and watching the original Captain America.
Oh yeah.
Like you when you saw it back then, dude, that was like in the 90s. You saw it back then and it was like, wow, this is awesome. And now you go back, you're like, what the shit kind of fucking
why was I ever impressed by this?
Claymation?
Basically, I think what we're all getting at is that we're all old and none of us aged well.
Yes, that's probably true.
I think I aged all right.
Oh yeah, Jason just says Star Blazers. Woof.
I actually I have been very impressed with the quality of cartoons over the last couple of years.
Only a few.
There's been a few that are really good though.
Yeah. Like what? Back to Avatar?
Gravity Falls was really good. Avatar was really good.
Troll Hunters?
Troll Hunters is fantastic. The new Voltron is really good. I'm watching one that a buddy, one of the guys that I work with suggested that I've been watching with my kid is called Star Butterfly versus the Forces of Evil. Not half bad.
Okay.
It's another one of those, like, the new thing is like 11-minute shows. So it's like mostly 11-minute episodes, and they do like 2 different stories in 1 half-hour episode. Each story is 11 minutes long.
Didn't the Powerpuff Girls do that?
I don't know if Powerpuff Girls did it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles doing it.
Over 30 minutes.
Adventure Time did it. Steven Universe did it. I actually have the problem is when you're getting those shows, like, it's very hard to keep them in track.
Organized, yeah.
Because everybody will be like, so if you go to like Amazon, like Star Butterfly's got 7 seasons, but there's really only 4 according to like TVDB. So it can be complicated. But
Ren and Stimpy, yep, that's true.
Ren and Stimpy.
I was never a big Ren and Stimpy fan.
I love the Ren and Stimpy.
The old kind of like super gross Nicktoons were never my thing. But I was watching Mills.
I don't know how well they stand up still, but the reason I liked them was that they were so different than anything else on TV.
And they still are so different than anything else on TV. Because it wasn't just Ren and Stimpy. It was all the other ads. Ambiguous Duo, the fucking log, everything.
I mentioned this in a previous episode. Like early SpongeBob was heavily influenced by, well, I wouldn't say heavily, but you see Ren and Stimpy.
In the art style and stuff, sure. Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't realize SpongeBob came out in 98 or 99.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back, and I've talked about this a lot when I show up, is the new DuckTales.
New DuckTales was good.
The last episode of the new DuckTales was like a completely new origin story for Darkwing Duck.
Really?
It has me so hoping that there's going to be a new Darkwing Duck cartoon.
I am the terror that flaps in the night.
So there's this, like, in the new DuckTales, Darkwing Duck existed as a kid's TV show.
Yes, I remember.
A specific actor.
Yeah.
So they were doing a movie reboot of it.
In the show?
With a new person, and the old Darkwing Duck got involved. And, like, I suggest that you watch the latest episode.
I have not seen it.
But there's this one point in it where, like, they're talking about the movie, and before they show the trailer, which is like Darkwing, or it's like Darkwing First Darkness. It looks really shitty. But Launchpad goes, "Oh my God, remaking something from my childhood? That will never be disappointing." But yeah. I'm really hopeful that they use that to launch into a brand new Darkwing Duck cartoon, because it would be amazing. And they've done such a good job with DuckTales. Like, they brought in a song from a Goofy movie a couple of weeks ago. And a Goofy movie was one of my favorite movies growing up. And I loved it. So, like, I'm really hoping that they launch into a new Darkwing Duck cartoon as well. Rick and Morty is another one of those really good new ones. I was just having a conversation. I don't love the art style of Rick and Morty. I like the intelligence. But I was just having a conversation with people that I worked with today about that. We were talking about, like, Big Bang Theory's over, right? And the guy's like, I never really watched that show because I felt like that show essentially existed to laugh at my people. I'm like,
so it was probably me you were talking to.
That's largely, no, it wasn't. It was somebody at work today.
Oh, okay. Because you and I had that conversation a while back. I didn't
largely accurate. Like,
even if it was, it got not funny after like 3 seasons.
I mean, it wasn't that funny at the beginning. It was all a laugh track. But it's interesting because you look at, like, a Chuck Lorre show who made Big Bang Theory, and, like, it's bottom of the barrel. So, like, he's it's a nerd show, bottom of the barrel, like, laugh at nerds. Then you go to something like Community, which is Harmon, which is Rick and Morty's, made by Dan Harmon too. Like, he actually paid fucking homage to nerds with a show like Community. Like, it's much smarter writing, and much more enjoyable experience because of that. And it's very interesting to watch. Like, Chuck Lorre has what Chuck Lorre does. He makes, like, bottom of the barrel shit.
Big Bang is nerd blackface.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. One of my friends in college said the same thing.
So I have watched all of Big Bang, and I enjoyed the cheap thrill of it. Like, it's kind of like a guilty little pleasure kind of thing.
Yeah.
Didn't hate it. It was okay. There were some decent moments in it. It wasn't a great show, but it was okay. And the actor that does Sheldon was pretty good.
Johan, even Plum Sacks.
I like him. I like Plumey Tunes.
I like Plum Sacks. That's pretty funny.
But yeah, like Gravity Falls, all that. There's a lot. The Big Hero 6 cartoon. I don't know if you ever saw the Big Hero 6 movie.
I did see the movie. So
they're on their 2nd season of the cartoon now, and it's awesome.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's really good. It's almost all the same voice actors from the movie.
My niece and nephew love Teen Titans Go, so I watched that with them.
Yeah.
You know, I refused to watch that for a really long time, and then I started watching it, and I don't hate it.
It's, you can't watch it like expecting like in particular. It's a hodgepodge. It's like watching for me.
It was hard coming from, like, the original Teen Titans and then Young Justice into Teen Titans Go.
It was easy for me.
But when I gave Teen Titans Go a shot, it's actually not a horrible show. Like, it's not a superhero show, though. Like, it's a pure comedy with a couple, like, superhero
styled show.
Yeah. And it's not bad when you take it, like...
I mentioned in chat earlier, We Bare Bears. That is... You watch a few episodes and you know the creators of the show are like 30-something. So that's cool.
I'm looking through the cartoons and shit that I've watched that are newer or recent.
We Bare Bears is a good one. What else do we watch? What else do I watch with them? Because I don't watch everything that they watch.
Steven Universe is a good one.
And Steven Universe they watch.
I like Steven Universe a lot.
not cartoon related, but not to throw a curveball, but miniseries related. Chernobyl is really good.
Insane.
Really good.
I think I've seen. Speaking of vaping, I've seen Todd talk about it, but I haven't watched it myself.
I did see him talk about that.
Todd got a strange taste in shows in terms of like what he likes and doesn't.
The other interesting one that I read today was Game of Thrones related, and that's that Kit Harington, the guy who played Jon Snow, checked himself into a wellness retreat.
Good.
He's been going like he did it a few seasons back.
Yeah, so he's checked back in now that the show is over. Apparently, he's having a hard time. But god damn it, when I saw the price, it's $120,000 a month.
You know what else? You know why? Because he probably realized his career probably peaked on that show.
Yeah, for that much money
too. But yeah, it's $120,000 a month for that retreat.
For that much money, the dude checking you in, his name better be Lobotomy Sarge. Because your ass better be.
You have a fuckload of money on Game of Thrones, and you know when you're a famous person, you go to famous.
Sure, yeah, you do the super expensive stuff.
The dude has had and still has drinking problems. He's got substance abuse problems, and I mean, and so some of the other stars on there. But
does he? What is he addicted to? Giant's Milk.
Yeah, Giant's Milk. Yeah. But he was doing something else. Oh no, that was
he did the Gunslinger series for a little while.
I was thinking of the other guy, the other star that died earlier on. He was in that miniseries where he was a like Secret Service for British. For like a British prime minister, and those series were really good. It was like a bodyguard style, and those. I mean, like there's a scene in there where there's a sniper, and holy shit! Like when you're watching that, like the I think it was a BBC show, and when you're watching that and the sound's going off and you hear the shots and they're hitting stuff, you're like, yeah, they did a really good job.
He does a legitimately good job with
this. But that was the same thing. So the HBO, the Chernobyl, I mean, if anyone has read up on what had happened and something as basic as what radiation does to you, like man, the acting is really good. The special effects are really good.
It's HBO, I would expect it.
Yeah. So, anybody got a chance to see it, check it out. It's pretty good.
Not that I watch a whole lot of stuff on HBO, but like I genuinely expect their content to be of pretty high quality.
Yeah.
Newsroom, I liked. I watched that fairly recently.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Newsroom was good. There was so much, dude. There was so much like shit that HBO got because. It ended at the 3 seasons or whatever, and people wanted the show back so bad.
Talking about Newsroom?
Newsroom, yeah.
Honestly, sometimes, dude, and a show 3 seasons, it's like laying down aces when you know you're beat.
Yeah.
You just got
that point, man.
It's the good move.
As much as I loved like Gravity Falls and these other shows, like I'm glad they ended when they ended.
Yeah. That's the same for Breaking Bad.
Yep.
I mean, people would have loved that show to go on, but no, it was perfect. It's perfect ending, perfect length. I think that, when you start pushing those 6, 7 seasons, especially, I mean, I don't know what will happen now, obviously, with newer shows, but especially all those shows that went through the writer's strike.
Yep.
People
Deadwood's coming back?
Is it?
That's what Nick just said. No kidding.
I did not know that.
Sorry to interrupt, Massey. That was shocking.
That's all right.
I had no idea.
All good.
So we'll all get our monthly allotment of hearing the word cocksucker. That was like the biggest thing I took out of that show. Is everyone's cocksucker this, cocksucker that.
I mean, you've never listened to Joey Diaz, have you?
One of the things that I think is nice is that we're entering at least an era of media where creators have some power over their creation now. So like I know Gravity Falls is a good example because the guy went in and like he did a season and then it was like the most popular cartoon on Disney for a little while. And he's like, look, I'm doing one more and that's the end of this story. And they're like, well, we kind of like it to continue. And he's like, no, I'm doing one more. And that's the end of this story. And they said, okay.
That's because he probably owns the rights.
It's Disney. I doubt it.
Well,
Disney owns everything. They're not exactly known for fairness.
we'll see.
The big one this week is fucking Good Omens, though, on Friday. Like, I'm super excited about Good Omens on Friday. I'm going to save it for my flight, I think, and, like, not watch it before I leave for LA, but David Tennant playing a demon.
Dude, you know who got roasted the other day on I pulled up Facebook and I happened across a post from old John Martin, and he was roasting Tennant.
Really?
Hates the guy.
Well, I mean, John Martin is not one to account for taste, I suppose. Why does he hate the guy?
I wasn't able to quite suss it out from the comments, but he was
They're speaking that funny language, you know.
I gotta go find it now.
He wasn't alone in his. There was some people agreeing in the comments, and I'm not sure why. The only thing I was able to glean from it was that he's the same character always, and he's a bit of a character actor. I mean, he's got a thing that he's got going on, but he does it really well.
But he's not the same character always. So, like, you could make a correlation to like Doctor Who and Kilgrave from Jessica Jones, but then you go watch Broadchurch. Yeah. And it's his traditional Irish accent, and he's a depressed, old, broken guy. And then you watch DuckTales, and he's Scrooge McDuck, and it's completely fucking different.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hear that he's the same fucking character, because that's not at all goddamn true. Like,
no, he's got a thing. I mean, he's got
a good range, too.
I'm not saying he doesn't ever do anything else. I am saying he's got a particular sort of character that he plays really well, and I enjoy him. By the way, he's probably my favorite Doctor, so I'm not dogging on the guy, but, you know. Addy just said something that you're probably interested in. He said the Orville season 3 is a go.
Yes.
You like that one, right?
I love The Orville is one of my favorite shows on TV right now, and I was really afraid about that when Disney bought Fox, that they were just going to be like, yeah, we don't really care about Seth MacFarlane, because The Orville is literally because Fox owes Seth MacFarlane. That's why it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like, MacFarlane makes money, and they like money.
But that's the thing. The Orville is also done exceptionally well. Like, the critics may have hated it, but everybody who watches it fucking loves it. So, yeah, it's that's got to be one of my favorite shows on TV right now. So I'm really happy they're doing another one.
Still haven't started. I know you love it. I just haven't watched it yet.
You should. It's so worth it. Dude, it's like Star Trek with fart jokes.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't object to it. I just haven't sat down to watch it.
That's a great way to describe something.
That's what it is. It's Star Trek with fart jokes. It's Star Trek if they took away all the kid stuff and were like, oh, we can talk about masturbation addiction.
So speaking of, I'm not going to segue that into that. But anyways, remember, folks, this is a. I mean, I guess if you masturbate, you won't need this. But remember, when you're going to the saloon, make sure you are properly equipped. On the right is a no, on the left is a no, on the right is a yes. Okay? So when bringing the kid to the saloon, make sure you have him in his holster.
It can be good for your hip, though. Just
Thank you.
Screw
the hip.
That's amazing.
I have seen people's faces when the hipster parents show up to breweries and bars with all the kids in tow. Like, what are you doing? Where some have actually started to put up signs. So
the oldest beer garden in New York City is in Queens, the Czech Bohemian Beer Garden, and that was like our spot. Like, that was like our, hey, it's warm out, it's spring, like let's go get wasted on good beer, right? Over the years, like my brother used to have his birthday parties there and shit, dude. There's so many more and more strollers every goddamn year. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with it? I used to be able to smoke cigarettes in there. Dude, I got a cigarette in my mouth and a pitcher of beer. Like,
Jason just asked if we saw the Lost in Space reboot, and I did watch the first. Was there only one season of that?
I watched that whole season. Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting. There was a few things that were kind of cool about that. But have they continued it, or did they kill it?
I think it was just one season, and I don't know if they're gonna make a second one.
Gotcha.
I'm looking right now. It was in the Ideal Home Show chat, by the way.
Yeah, I seem to recall that they left it open to, here's where we start this new, thing.
But for a second season, but there's no release date. Season 1 dropped April 2018. So we're assuming 2019 or early 2020, but they are doing a second season, which is good. I did enjoy that show. Dude, nostalgia is such a powerful fucking weapon for people today.
It is and it isn't, right? It is when it's good, and it's bad when it's bad.
Right?
Mostly bad.
It's really bad when it's bad.
Yeah.
Though did anyone watch the Bel Air trailer? Like a proof of concept trailer of basically like a non-comedic Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Interesting.
Wait, non-comedic?
Yeah, dude, no, like the Fresh Prince of Bel Air as a drama. I'm sure there's like some humor.
I would say that's got to be horrible, but
no, watch the trailer. I was skeptical too, and I'm like, huh.
Well,
they basically would do it how you would do it if you were to do it.
I add the but because I have really enjoyed Riverdale, which is a really interesting take on fucking Archie comics, and I have enjoyed that as a show. The upside though to the nostalgia thing is that the people who are making stuff these days were fans early on now, so it's not like a quick cash in. Like they're actually finding creators who are fans. And you can tell when you watch. Like when you watch DuckTales, you can tell it's a bunch of people who grew up watching fucking DuckTales making the new DuckTales.
Because they're good when they do that, but a lot of times it's not the case, right? A lot of times they like, hey, there's this intellectual property that we own.
Yeah.
Let's fucking reboot that.
I found that post. It's in the Ideal Home Show.
I don't remember why it came up in my feed.
Because you're probably in that group.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm just saying, I don't know why that one in particular. Well, I guess because of friends with John. I guess that makes sense. I don't think Facebook is quite at the point where knowing it knows my favorite doctor and it's going to route all David Tennant sort of things. I don't think it's quite that sophisticated.
Yeah, there's no commenting turned on for the post.
You live close enough that they're sucking all your brain out anyways.
It's true. At least from some of the offices. There are many offices.
A new Fonzie would be funny. I'm honestly, I'm tired of seeing Henry Winkler in reverse mortgage ads. So
that would be funny if Winkler had his kid was the new Fonz or whatever. That would be pretty humorous.
Oh, and no, a new Fonzie would be that would be terrible. In what world would that go well?
What? No, because it wouldn't be actually Fonzie. It'd be Fonzie modernized or whatever.
No, it's Henry Winkler or bust for this guy. I'm not bending on that.
Okay.
The Picard trailer also the teaser. It's a true teaser. Like what a teaser is actually supposed to fucking be, where it's so goddamn open, where you make your ideas rather than leading you up to what the fucking the Game of Thrones teasers they put out for the season. Like this is a fucking trailer.
Yeah, not a teaser.
Winkler was really good at Arrested Development.
He was.
He was.
It was not the Fonz at all. It was great.
He was not good in the reverse mortgage ad.
The other interesting
reverse mortgage.
surprisingly
reverse mortgage ads is
surprisingly good to a point that I didn't think it would be as a movie animated one. Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, what? Here we go.
They did a crossover movie, Batman versus TMNT, and it was surprisingly good.
Really? Was it straight to DVD? I don't think I've ever heard of it.
It was, yeah. So any of the DC, and DC's been putting out, they put out 2 to 3 really high quality animation movies a year. Like Batman Under the Red Hood was one of them, but they're all straight to DVD.
And that's perfectly fine for me. Anyway.
Yeah, me too. But I just watched Batman vs. TMNT with the wife over the weekend, and it was really good. It did a really good job with the character sets and kind of mashing it together, and way better than I thought they would. So I was very impressed. It was.
Was it animated?
Yeah, it was animated.
Yeah.
It wasn't Into the Spider-Verse good, because Into the Spider-Verse was really good.
Ooh, I'm planning on watching that this weekend.
You should. It's really good.
That's what I've heard.
I've seen that movie several times, including in theaters, because I'm a massive Spider-Man nerd anyway. It was really enjoyable.
Josh is asking, is Riverdale like a teenager program?
It's CW, so kind of. Like, it's a bunch of attractive people doing things they shouldn't be doing, but there's also a lot of drugs and murder and shit in it, and like a cult. So it's not bad.
Sure. Takes all kinds. Sure.
It's not as good as a lot of their other stuff. I think its problem was like the first season was really, really good. The second season kind of went off the rails. Third season started, and I'm like, wow, this premise is really fucking good. And then it went off the rails. I'm like, oh, I really, because the third season started like psychotic Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be fun. Like, really fucking creepy. And then it kind of like, there's just certain plot lines that existed out here that I didn't really give a shit about. So it's had its ups and downs, but it hasn't been a horrible show.
Joe's not wrong. Can't relive your childhood. Let it die. Yeah, you can. I think you can hold things.
I can eat a fucking strawberry shortcake ice cream bar and feel like I'm 6 years old again. Fuck off.
Enjoy a little bit of an updated version of said childhood, bro.
You know which ice cream bars I'm talking about.
Like, I have no problem with DuckTales happening with some shout-outs in stunning HD and having an updated version of said childhood that I can then share with my kid. Like,
as long as it's done like you said a minute ago, which is done by fans or whatever.
Yeah,
so it's
right?
good. And it's true to the original, even if it's different, but at least it's true to the original.
I had that was another conversation I had today where like somebody brought up their love of the Harry Potter movies. I said, I'm not a big Harry Potter movie fan because there's two ways that a movie or a remake can go. A TV, movie, whatever. You can either go word for word to the original, in which case you better be close to word for word. And if you leave shit out, I'm going to judge you on your source material. Or you can do a completely new take on a thing, and then I can judge it as something entirely new. Then all you have to do is nail the core personalities that exist, and then we're good. Ready Player One was a good example. I love the book. I love the movie. But the movie is so far away from the fucking book. It's crazy. And that's okay. They went a completely different way with it, but they kind of captured the core of that story.
Yeah.
But if you try to go too close, like, and do a word-for-word remake, or, you know, you can tell when it's like a cash-in word-for-word thing, and they're usually nowhere near as good.
Yeah, and I mean, like, in Ready Player One, man, it would have been like a 6-hour movie. I mean, the whole part where he goes underground and he's, you know, has to go through the maze. Yeah, I mean, it's just, that would have been, people would have been like, what?
So much of that stuff wouldn't have translated. Like the word-for-word movie reshoot things that they had to do as a challenge, or like the Tomb of Horror. Like the book, like the action sequences were much slower than the movie. So I understand why they updated them, because as cool as it is to read about fucking playing Joust against the Lich King, I don't know if that would have translated as well to the screen and watching it.
Yeah.
So like, but they did a good job of taking the essence of that thing and making it something else. And I'm okay with that. My problem is when somebody tries to cheap in and is like, well, we're just going to fucking word for word it. And like DC has been really lazy with their properties, is a good example for all the DC superhero movies. Like they've been very lazy with their properties as opposed to Marvel. So I care about somebody who cares about what they're making.
Yeah.
I don't care about Martha. Sorry.
You can't argue that Marvel's not been, swinging their library around, right? I mean, they've been doing that for years now.
Oh yeah, but they have statistically made it at worst a B- movie.
Yeah,
doing it like Iron Man 3. Well, maybe they've made a couple C, like the original Thor 2, definitely, and Iron Man 3. A couple like C quality, but like they've never gotten below that. Like it's always been like either really good or like C- to C.
Yeah.
Watchable, kind of okay, but not great.
Not like a total flop.
Yeah, it's never been Batman versus Superman.
I saw somebody try to defend that one recently.
There's no defense to that movie. Not a bit. Like there's no defense for that.
Yeah.
Vic might not be wrong. Thor: Dark World being the worst Marvel movie might be better than the entire DC movie universe.
That's not saying a lot, dude. Like DC has been proving themselves so goddamn incompetent in making a movie.
Yes.
Like
But they make really good cartoons.
Wonder Woman would be like an Marvel movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Wonder Woman was okay, and Aquaman wasn't awful. I didn't hate Aquaman.
I didn't see Aquaman because
Dude, I knew it's like it was so goddamn predictable though. Aquaman. It's like 10, 15 minutes into the movie, I'm like, okay, I know exactly how this is gonna go.
And I kind of went into it with low expectations, which might be why I didn't hate it entirely.
Mm.
But I didn't hate it entirely. It was okay.
Well, my preconceived bias is I've always thought Aquaman was one of the lamer characters in the DC universe. So
no argument.
He and Green Arrow are fucking lame.
I like Green Arrow. I've always kind of liked Green Arrow though. But to the DC sucks. DC sucks in their movies.
Yeah, their animated content
shows.
Their animated content, their physical comics, and their like animated feature length shit is always.
Smallville was great, but that is
good. Their TV shows were good. If they could take the people who are working on their TV shows or their animated films and move them to like major DC, that's what they need to do. Although I know the recipe to a good Batman movie, and it's not spending a shit ton of money. It's a $25 million lowbrow fucking film noir movie. It's
and
story.
Not having all the colors turned off.
Yep. Well, in Batman, you can actually get away with having all the colors turned off. Like you can do a low-budget detective story that's plot heavy and like focused on like emotional pain and Bruce being world's greatest detective. Like you could do a really good low-budget Batman movie.
Matches Malone, dude.
They did Cloak and Dagger. Jason's talking about that. They made that a show, right?
It's a show. It's on season 2. 9 episodes out because I'm staring at it right now. I haven't started it yet. I haven't seen it yet.
I watched the first, I think, full season.
Cloak and Dagger's Marvel
though.
Because Cloak and Dagger's in the same, like got introduced in Runaways, which is also a really good comic book and a very good show.
Gotcha.
Runaways was a Hulu show. But like if you look at like Batman Under the Red Hood and all the DC animated stuff, and then you look at like Justice League Unlimited, Batman the Animated Series, Young Justice, like their cartoons have been on point. The CW
Young Justice was pretty decent,
right?
Well, they're just branching from their comics. Like their comics have always been better than the content that I read. It was just always just solid. It was well sketched. It was well written. It was very proper.
They were better at bringing reality onto the page.
They also paid more. They were more beholden to their continuity than Marvel ever was.
Oh yeah, and DC kind of had this concept of like all of their heroes had flaws. Marvel wasn't so much. I mean, they gave Tony Stark a drinking problem at some point, but like all of their heroes were very human for the most part in DC. Marvel was not entirely like that. It might be why Spider-Man was the most famous Marvel character for so long, because he was the one that they actually portrayed him a lot.
And Punisher as well.
Yeah.
Well, he came from Amazing Spider-Man.
Josh is not right. Supergirl is not a good show.
I like it.
Flash is a good show.
Flash is a good show. I quite like it.
It's not a good show, and the only thing that's worse is the time travel guys. Legends.
So Legends has gotten really good, by the way.
I've pushed through. I've watched them up until I think this season.
Okay,
so I've definitely watched it. It's not a very good show. It's really not.
First, Supergirl. I quite like Supergirl. I find it to be a good show. But that's different. That like I'm not going to argue the point, because that's one of those things you either like or you don't. Legends you have to go into completely differently, because Legends is just like they have gone off the rails, wacky as shit.
Yes.
Like they saved the world by opening up a fucking magical creatures theme park. Like they have embraced the crazy.
Look what's behind you right now. Look what's behind you. Yeah.
Yeah. I quite like Legends though. So I have enjoyed the craziness. Like Legends is like a nice break from all the more serious shows.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It's one of those things I can push through and watch it because it is ridiculous. And there's a couple of characters that are actually all right. Like I think I like Rory out of all of them.
I also love the character doing John Constantine because I like the Constantine show, and I was glad that they brought him into Legends. Like,
yeah, he's all right, but like the rest of the crew, like they just make me they irritate the shit out of me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean,
so how much of Supergirl did you watch?
I think I'm up to I think the end of last season.
Okay,
I don't think I watched
one was like not CW, and then they brought it to the CW, and it changed pretty drastically, and it was a little iffy for a little while. This newest season wasn't bad, but it might be a little bit too much political undertone for you. I don't mind that.
Well, the problem is it's badly done political undertone. I wouldn't mind the message if it was just delivered well, but the acting is horrible. It's awful.
There's some bad, some decent.
Like the front two actresses are just bad. Like,
I like Melissa Benoist though.
It's terrible.
But the thing is, like, we're coming into super exciting because not only is next year the final season of Arrow, and they're only doing 10 episodes, but they're only doing Arrow again because they're doing Crisis for Flash. Like the big crossover is Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Mm.
And like that's been building up for like 5 years now. Like
it's been
so exciting. I'm so excited for that, man. Like
I've been done with
Renewed, which is also one of my other favorite new shows that you probably still haven't watched yet.
Which?
The Rookie. The one
The Rookie. Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet.
Nickelodeon's new cop show.
Yeah.
That got renewed for season 2. I'm really happy about that too.
Dude, anything's got him in it, I'm gonna watch it for sure because he kills me. He's hilarious.
He plays a very different character in that show. Like
good. He can do it.
He's
great.
Older. He's much wiser. He's much more empathetic. He's not real cocky anymore.
Yeah.
But
Philly's hilarious, dude. That's all there is to it.
I enjoy seeing him that way, and I enjoy the humanity of that show a lot. I was actually just gonna say, so Fu, what are you vaping on?
Thank you, Eddie. We
I
spent most of an hour talking about
just stroking my beard during this conversation.
Got him.
Eddie beat me to it, and I was the one who was thinking about it. Damn it.
Snowdrift, Naruto, Unit 250C. Angsty.
This week, shockingly enough, I've been vaping mostly on my Limelight Freehand Glue with a RAM board inside, our EA on top, Omen Tip rail cracker inside, and I really want. I did rotate in and out the reg hand a good bit this last week. I'm not using it at the moment, but I did. And then I've been kind of wanting to get the billet box out. I haven't done that in a minute. Kind of want to do that.
When did the new Addy come out for the billet box?
Still no official word from Steven on the Zeta.
I hope that happens because otherwise my billet box is just going to continue to collect dust.
I told you I'll let you know as soon as I know.
Yeah, but we forget things sometimes.
That's true. That's true. And I have definitely been away from the vaping scene for a minute. So, but I will as soon as I hear from him. I'll let you know. I think I told the viewers this a while back, but you probably weren't on this show at the time. But the last time I talked to him, he of the many parts that are involved in the Zeta, I think there were 2 of them that were not to his liking spec wise. So he sent them back and had them redone. So I think they're trying to finish that up. And
okay,
that's the last I've heard of him. That was a few weeks ago.
Oh, it's
I saw that Narda or Narmods, I should say, told everybody to stop using their name except for the 2 companies when they're making caps and branding stuff.
Oh yeah, don't put their logo on stuff.
Don't put their logo on stuff. Interesting.
You're not supposed to put logos on shit. You don't put logos on that you don't own. On
Exactly.
That actually, Brian, you got to admit that's at a fun time though, right?
What?
If you think about that post and my weekend.
Oh yeah.
It's at a fun time.
Did you get a Narmods tattoo?
I wouldn't show anybody if I did.
Right over his heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
The stamp.
So I have my dirty bolt.
Your dirty bolt.
But I did get a new door and button from Ricardo, which is dope because it's Mario.
To hide some of the dirty.
Yeah. Well, he did the button with a boo on it too, and he sent me another one with a bullet bill, which is dope. With a Narca with, I think, an Omen tip. Like that looks like an Omen tip. I'm just not sure.
I think so. Looks like it.
With abolishment. I'm having a really hard time adjusting to this tip, though. So I'm using this tip because I ordered a ruby red bolt that's not highly engraved because this one just kind of already looks like crap because it's too engraved and has nothing but pocket lint all over it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the ruby red one. It'll look really good with a black Mario door and button, right? But this drip tip has a wider bore than I like because I'd always hit up Owen and I'd be like, hey, man, I need the thin bore. And then he'd send me the wide bore and he'd be like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So I have like the black one and the red one are both wider bore. So like I'm trying to get used to it. But you get so much more flavor out of the thinner bore, damn it.
You do. It's true. He tries to tell me that you don't every time I order a new
Wrong.
one. But he's
still making tips because I might just need to hit him up and be like, dude, I need more tips, but they have to be thin bore. Otherwise, I don't want them. I need these colors, and they have to be thin bore.
Like his 9 mils.
Like, because I mean, you're only talking like a couple fucking millimeters difference, but it's a huge difference.
It does make a difference.
Huge difference.
Which is why you, I think, are going to enjoy at least the vape from the Zeta, because that's what he's really paid attention to that.
Good.
Not just on the input, not just to the coil, but also the chimney up to your drip tip. Like all those things are all switchable.
We have to address something here though, because Josh said it looks like one of Melody's new tips. And I would just like to say the name of this style of tip is the Poe style, motherfucker. This is a Poe style tip. It's on the website. These are our tips. Brian and I are super
Ours, but they're
well, we're the ones who kind of demanded the style.
And you know what's funny is the one thing that he pushed back on, and he wanted to put that little the metal lip on the bottom.
Yeah.
I actually grew to really love it. Like that was the thing that he wanted to do. I'm like, because there's some physical limitation that he needed to put that on there.
I do miss the overhang though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He doesn't do it anymore, but I miss the overhang. I thought the overhang looked really dope.
Yep.
He's like, no, it's better without it. I'm like, no, the overhang was awesome, man.
It kind of had that almost like an homage to the Ming, the old Ming style,
right? Yeah.
That little.
It's like up and then out and then like nice and curvy. It was dope. I love that thing. I still have my white one somewhere.
Sorry, Addy. That actually, I was actually about to mention that you were talking about having a new tip. I have lost one, and I've chipped 2 by tipping over the mods and them hitting something hard, and it either chips it or breaks the thing off. In fact, there's one of them right here where I need to figure out how to glue this back on because it fell. It fell, but this is one of the tighter ones, and the ones that I have left are the ones that are like 1 millimeter bigger. And Sean's not wrong.
It makes a big
difference. The flavor, man. It does.
What do you use, 9s, Angsty?
Well, that's the thing is they're not on the website.
Yeah, you have to ask him because he doesn't like making them.
Because he hates making them.
I know that.
His standard is like a 9, and I think we ask for like a 5.
11s I know are standard. I think he's only making 9s because of us.
Yes.
We were using 9s for a minute.
But we make him use 5s for. I think my normal ones are 5s.
But the OD is about 9. But
yeah.
It's the inner diameter that's the important thing. That's a little tighter than he normally makes them.
My calipers in front of me.
And his inner diameter on this one's probably like 7 or 8, and what I need is 5.
Right.
Because 5 is better.
Hey, them picky ass Plumes boys. That's what.
Right.
He definitely.
But he's still making tips, yeah.
Last I checked, yeah. But he's been making those little his little smaller mech mods and that kind of thing for a little while.
I just need to hit him up and be like, dude, I need like a ruby red, much like this one, but it's got to have the right inner diameter. I need a black one. It's got to have the right inner diameter because I don't think that I can long term. And like I'm too vain, so like I'll use the worst tip because white won't look good on a red and black mod. Because I mean, you know me.
Mm.
What are you vaping, Matt?
I didn't vape anything today.
Update on the 50/50 from Festi. I have not used this in probably a good week and a half or so. Not for any particular reason. I just haven't done it. I still like a lot of things about this thing. I love the size. I love, obviously, the RAM board's great or whatever. The battery is still an issue for me, and I think the biggest reason why is I don't have enough higher NIC stuff. If I really wanted to really enjoy it, I probably should have 12 in it.
Yeah, get yourself some 12 milligram abolishment or 6 milligram abolishment.
I'm very torn on that because, like, even at lower watts and stuff, I can't bring myself to enjoy higher NIC.
Yeah, well, the only reason I say that, because I agree with you, the only reason I say that is it would just help the battery life, right? I'd be taking shorter, smaller drags, wouldn't be vaping as often, and it would last longer.
But it wouldn't be as good.
But it wouldn't be as good, but it would be functional. That's the thing about salts. I have yet to have a salt liquid that doesn't taste like dog turds. And I've had quite a few, and all of them they're okay, but they're just, the flavor is not there. It's too much Nick, and I just don't particularly care for it anymore. Did I used to love this kind of Nick?
Yeah, reasonable Nick.
Yeah, that was like 6 or 7 years ago.
Right.
Like, I think for the most part, all of us are either down to or almost down to fucking 0.
I went back up to 6. Thug Life.
Did you? I mean, I could realistically probably cut Nick out entirely and be fine.
I was at 3 for 2 years, and then I hit a wall with it, and I was going through like 20 mil a day, so I went back up to 6.
I'm still going through a lot, but I'd be going through a lot no matter what. Like, I've always gone through a lot.
I'm going through less since I moved up to 6. And honestly, I think it's a sweet spot for me flavor-wise with like everything I vape. 6 milligram pissed, fucking amazing. So,
my vaping hasn't been Nick-based in a really long time.
I was at Casa Biggles over the weekend. I made him vape his shit at 6 milligram, and I'm like, this is the master Nick right here.
I can't disagree. I've been at 3 for years at this point.
Same.
Like, yeah.
The flavor was a drop-off, for sure. It just was. And every liquid.
Yeah, going back up to 6 milligram abolishment, I'm like, God damn. 3 milligram abolishments fucking blows, man.
I don't know that I could comfortably vape 6, though, because I care so little about the nicotine. Like,
I'm doing it because I enjoy vaping.
Yeah. I enjoy the act of vaping. I don't give
I like how, in my opinion, like, flavor is much fuller at 6 than it is at 3.
Yeah.
I still don't want to switch to 0 because I don't want to lose that tiny little bit of hit that you get.
Yeah.
I don't want much of it. I want a little bit, but like
I'm just gonna go straight from 6 to nothing. I'm not gonna trick myself. I know myself. I'm just gonna quit vaping. When that time comes, I'm just gonna go from 6 to nothing.
Yeah, I just can't bring myself to do fucking 3. But I mean, I'm probably at 15 mil a day, give or take, depending on how much this bottle actually holds, which I haven't tested. Like I've
like on average about 10. Some days, like when I was vaping at work, I was going for like 15 because I was fucking vaping at work.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I go through 2 to 3 bottles a day, depending on the day.
Yeah, for sure.
Every minute I get to sneak away at work and have a quick vape, I do, and I usually go through the first tank or first bottle. I don't know, halfway 3/4 through the day. So 4 to 6 hours. And I'm gonna guess that this thing holds anywhere from 5 to 7. This bottle feels smaller than all my other bottles. I feel like I empty it faster. The other ones I used to get all the way done with work most of the time. So this bottle definitely feels smaller. Or the Narca is just sucking in more juice than the Narda did for me. I don't know.
That chamber's
I assume so.
In the CA, you mean? Right?
Yeah, in the CI.
CA's chamber's quite a bit smaller than the DA's, I think.
It is, but I might be squonking it more and vaping it harder.
Yeah, maybe.
Also less air coming into the CA, so it might be utilizing more juice.
Possibly. Yeah, Vic's not wrong. He tried to go 0 in bed, and there's too much of a difference in the entire field, not in the feel as well as the flavor. You drop to 0. If you ask the juice makers, you could probably ask Addy and Fresh and all those other guys. You don't put any Nick in it, that's fine, but your recipe may need to be tweaked, right? Because it's not the same thing as having a little Nick.
No, Nick. Well, I mean, we've been arguing for years that Nick is a flavor.
Sure. It's like salt, right? It's like a flavor enhancer.
Flavor, it helps bond shit too. Like if I vape Snow Drift at 0 versus 6, everything just feels fuller. Everything feels better mixed.
Yeah, it's like eating steak, right? You can eat steak. You put salt on it. Fucking awesome. Just brings out all the meatiness. The meatiness.
I ate some steaks at Casa Bagels too. I don't know if you saw. I posted in our Discord.
What?
We grilled some steaks, sliced them up. The cat didn't want a piece. Like, what the fuck, cat?
You know what, Josh? I've never tried Toby's salts, so I cannot comment on that. I'll take your word for it.
Side note, Brian, you're in luck. Texas just legalized brass knuckles as a self-defense weapon.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Needs to buy some knuckles.
Yo, oh no, it's not still not better than a bug assault, my dude.
Link in YouTube chat.
If you shoot someone in the forehead with a bug assault, they're gonna back the fuck off.
Wait till September, by the way, because it's September. But in September, you'll be legally allowed to use brass knuckles and carry brass knuckles, wildcat keychains, and clubs for self-defense.
I was going to ask you to do clubs because I used to carry a Kubaton back in the day on my keys. And the Kubaton's a great self-defense weapon, and I've never had to use it, but I had one. I probably still got it somewhere. I quit carrying it because it was technically illegal. Yep. And after a while, I'm like, you know what? I just don't want the hassle. I just took it off my keychain.
Self-defense.
Yeah, there you go, Foo. That's right.
They also lifted the prohibition on switchblades.
No shit.
Yep. I'll post a link in the
Texas
YouTube side chat too, but I just posted it in the normal chat side chat as well. It just popped up. I just saw.
You know what that opens up though for people that are EDC people like you and I.
Yep.
It opens up carrying Nuck, right? On your keychain, right? The single Nuck.
Yeah.
That's cool.
In Texas.
Oh yeah, the best state. And then Ninja Stars, says Tomas.
Joe, do you remember that kid who walked around with a katana who was being interviewed on the news that he like scared someone away? You know what I'm talking about, right?
The really super dirty guy.
Talking about how like dangerous he is and shit.
Yeah. Hey, Massey, take
that. Think of it. That's going to happen in Texas.
Yeah, take. See if you remember this. We need to find that video, the katana guy, for next week.
Yeah, the katana kid who's dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't thought about him in a while.
You know what's funny is that I feel like someone sent it to me in the last year or two. Like I know I watched it recently.
Oh really? Oh man, I haven't seen it forever.
I think it may have been a meme. I think that's what it was. Like that kid was used as the subject of a meme.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. I will take this link and I will put it in chat so I
already did that.
All the folks can see it. What? I don't see it in chat.
Oh, it's
I'm
there.
talking about for all the other the people that are watching.
Yeah, if you scroll up a little bit, it's there.
I
posted it. Damn it, it's there. It exists.
Nope.
Addy Tooney goes, what? It's right above Addy Tooney's what comment?
No,
I do not see it.
Oh, then maybe it just doesn't show links that I post.
Yeah, I think it's filtered for you because you're not a full-time host anymore.
Yeah, that's possible.
That is cool though, because that if they are legalizing the switchblades, that means I could probably get an auto knife and not have to have a cop license or a cop ID to buy an auto knife. I'm not going to do it because I like my knife. But
one Shadeth got an auto knife a couple months ago. Did he show you?
Yeah. I remember he's going around trying to find the right one.
Yeah, I remember helping him like try to pick colors and sizes. Those things have fucking such strong buttons, though, man. I can barely get them open.
They do, especially the ones that are buttons. The switches are sometimes even worse. The ones you get a switch.
That's the one. Like the one that he got has one of those pop-up switches, and like that fucking switch is serious.
Yeah,
I mean, it's great because it's not going to open up by accident, but it's also like if I can't get the fucking thing open.
Yeah, most of them have safeties though. You shouldn't have to. Well, I mean, you have to do that because that's how it's.
No, that one was like the specific one that he got, like the Talon logo. I can't think of the fucking brand.
Yeah,
a lot of people around here have them, and Maryland had them, and like the switches were so fucking hard.
Yeah, well, they got to because they got to charge that spring back up, right?
Yep.
Anyway, oh yeah, so we were talking about salts in chat. Bombies, I'm pretty sure, makes salts in for normal vaping. Like I think he goes higher, like he goes to like 18 and shit, but he has more reasonable levels like salts. I remember Biggles was telling me before we launched. I believe that is the case with him. You know what? Why don't I take this time to go look really fucking quick?
You get some 18 milligram nano cream for you, Foo?
Actually, I have some right here.
That was good. It caught me off guard. Right in the middle of a drag. Well done.
Oh, I didn't even notice that part. I was doing the no look because I'm trying to navigate this website. Even better.
Yeah, Vic, that's right. The menthol and salt is okay if you just kind of want that one note kind of thing, but everything else is kind of every one that I've had has been like all the other cheap juice I've ever had, which is it ends up tasting real chemically, it ends up tasting really harsh, or it just doesn't taste like anything specific. It just kind of tastes like bleh.
Okay, correction. Sorry. The lowest he does is 15 for salt. Ain't bad. I don't know. I don't know how low does Mr. Salty go? But that's a hell of a lot more reasonable than a lot of what's on. He does 15, 30, and 40. So I think that's reasonable. I guess if you want 6 milligrams salt, you have to make that yourself, chap. But 15, I think, is reasonable if you're in a low power device. Not 50. Like if they made mango jewel pods in like 50 milligram, I'd vape the fuck out of those. Anyway, on that quip, I think it's time for us to go. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. That's all for tonight. We'll be back next week. So until then, peace.
Peace.
Burps.
Peace.